Good afternoon, students. In the previous class, we have discussed about the oogenesis and menstrual cycle. Today, we will start the part 5 of chapter number 3. The topic is fertilization. Fertilization is the biological process in which sperm and ovum is fused together and zygote is formed. As far as fertilization is carried out, prior to this, after the sexual coitus, semen is released in the vagina. This is vagina and semen is released here. Sperms start travel to cervix. The first place of sperm will be cervix, then it will reach to uterine cavity. This is the sperm. Now it is reached to uterine cavity, and the semen will travel towards the oviduct. The first part of the oviduct is isthmus, and its next part is comparatively swollen part where ovum is already present, and this is ovum. It is present at the junction of isthmus and ampulla. It is known as ampullary isthmic junction. As the sperm reaches to ampullary isthmic junction, fertilization will take place. Now, one point is to remember that the transfer of semen from penis to vagina is known as insemination. So, it is an important term. What is insemination? The transfer of semen from penis to vagina. This is known as insemination, and after insemination, the next process is carried out. So, dear students, in the introduction of fertilization, I have explained in brief. Now in detail, during the copulation, also known as coitus, semen is released by the penis into the vagina is called insemination. One more question is asked, what do you mean by insemination? The motile sperm swim rapidly, pass through cervix. This is the first part of the uterus. Second, uterine cavity, and finally reach the junction of isthmus and ampulla. It is called ampullary isthmic junction. Most important question for the NEET level examination: what is the place of fertilization? In the small classes, our answer was oviduct. When you were the part of class 10th, then your answer was fallopian tube. But at this level, your answer must be ampullary isthmic junction. The ovum is released from the ovary, also transported to ampullary isthmic junction, where fertilization takes place. So, one important thing in fertilization, takes place if both sperm and ovum reach ampullary isthmic junction simultaneously. So, dear students, initially after ovulation, ovum will reach to ampullary isthmic junction, and during that time, if any male partner acts with the female partner, then semen, if transferred to ampullary isthmic junction, then fertilization will be taken place. The process of fusion of sperm and ovum is called fertilization. So fertilization is basically the fusion of sperm and ovum. Acrosome of the sperm secretes enzyme. The name of the enzyme is hyaluronidase. It helps in the penetration into the ovum. So you can see initially sperm's head will burst and acrosome will release the hyaluronidase enzyme and it will help in the penetration into the ovum. Next. Once a sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida of the ovum, it induces the changes in the membrane that blocks the entry of additional sperm. So, one important point to learn that as the one sperm will touch the zona pellucida, it will initiate the changes in the membrane and additional entry of the sperms will be blocked. That ensures monospermy. It means only single sperm will enter in the ovum and it prevents polyspermy. It means rest of the other sperms will not enter in the ovum. Only one sperm fertilized with one ovum. Entry of sperm into the ovum induces the ovum to complete its second meiotic division of secondary oocyte. I have already told you during the menstrual cycle, the entry of the sperm will result in the form of meiosis second and secondary oocyte is formed and one polar body is created. Meiosis second is also unequal cytokinesis, resulting in the production of one large ovum. It is also known as oocyte and one small second polar body. Polar bodies are automatically degenerated. Haploid nucleus of sperm, it means it contains 23 sperms fused with the haploid nucleus of ovum. It also contains 23 chromosomes to form diploid zygote. So you can see sperm is carrying 23 chromosomes from the male while the ovum is carrying 23 chromosomes from the female body, and it will result in the form of zygote that is diploid in nature. It means zygote contains 46 chromosomes. This is the graphical presentation of fertilization. You can see in the figure 3.10, initially many sperms will surround the ovum, and as you can see this one, this is the head of the sperm and this green colored structure is zona pellucida. As this head of the sperm touches the zona pellucida, it will initiate changes in the egg ovum cell membrane and it will stop the entry of other chromosomes. So you can see these are the other sperms, but they will not success in the entry into the ovum. This is the another one part, although it is not showing the fertilization, but this is the figure of uterus, this is oviduct, fallopian tube, this yellow colored structure is ovary, and we will discuss on this figure later on. Now the question is, what is the future of zygote? As far as future of zygote is concerned, it will show the repetitive mitotic divisions and number of cells will increase. The first step of the embryo development is cleavage. What is cleavage? Repeated mitotic divisions of the zygote without growth resulting a multicellular ball-like embryo is called cleavage. So dear students, cleavage is basically mitotic division, but after first and second and third mitotic division, size of the daughter cells will decrease and its overall size of the zygote will remain as it is. Up to this mitosis is called cleavage. Cleavage starts soon after fertilization. As fertilization takes place, cleavage will start. Daughter cells produced during cleavage are called blastomeres. The product of cleavage is called morula. Important point. What is the result of cleavage? A ball-like structure will be formed that is known as morula, which is 8 to 16 and sometimes it may be 32 cell stage structure. So try to remember the mitosis which was taught in the class 11. After the one mitosis, daughter cells are 2. After the second mitosis, number of cells will be doubled, 2 2s are 4, and in the third one, number of cells will be 8. So morula stage is achieved after the third or fourth or fifth mitosis. The morula continues to divide and grow and transform into blastocyst. It will show the continuous changes and repetitive mitotic divisions will be taken place and it will convert into blastocyst. It is the blastula of human being. One important question is asked here. What is the name of blastula of human being? Then your answer must be blastocyst. It is also the part of practical examination. The blastomeres in blastocyst arranged into an outer layer. So you can see the outer layer of the blastocyst is called trophoblast, and an inner mass of cells attached to trophoblast is called ICM, inner cell mass. Basically, inner cell mass will form the future embryo. Trophoblast cells attached to the endometrium helps in the development of placenta. So, trophoblast cells will develop the placenta in future. Inner cell mass gets differentiated into the embryo. After attachment, the uterine cells divide rapidly and cover the blastocyst. So, what will you see? After the implantation, the blastocyst is covered by uterine cells. Blastocyst completely embedded in the uterine endometrium. So blastocyst will be covered, and this phenomena is known as implantation. So what is implantation? The attachment of blastocyst to the uterine endometrium is known as implantation. The zygote undergoes a series of mitotic cell divisions called cleavage. Up to this stage, growth of the embryo will not increase. The stages of development are as given here: 2-cell stage, 4-cell stage, 8-cell stage. This is morula. It may be of 8-cell, 16-cell and 32-cell stage. After morula, blastulation is seen and it will result in the form of blastula, and the human blastula is known as blastocyst. One question again, what is the name of blastula in human? Then you need to answer blastocyst. And after blastulation, the next stage is gastrulation, where cells will show the specific movements. Now have a look on the figure number 3.11. You can see this was the ovum. In the second one, fertilization is carrying out. and you can see one sperm is entered in the cell and rest of the other sperms are died. As it will enter in the sperm, then it will show the fertilization and zygote is formed. This is the two cell stage. Have a look, count the number of cells, 1 and 2. This is known as two cell stage of the embryo. It is the first mitotic division. After this, you can see second mitosis is carried out and the number of cells are 2 to the 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is 4 cell stage. And again, you can see the number of cells in the figure E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 2 are in the inner part. So this is the 8 cell stage embryo and this is known as morula. You can see this is the A. After ovulation it reaches to ampullary ischemic junction and after insemination sperm will reach to ampullary ischemic junction. It will show the fertilization. So there may be one important question can be asked on this point. What is A? Then you can show it is ovum. What is B? This is the fertilization. What is C? This is 2 cell stage. In the D, you can see 4 cell stage. In the E, this is morula, ball-like structure. Its word morula is taken from a plant, Morus alba. It is called sahatooth. And in the next part, this morula will show the movement towards the uterine cavity and continuous division can be seen. And it is blastocyst. And the attachment of blastocyst to the uterine endometrium is called blastocyst implantation. And this is the next stage of morula. This is the blastocyst, and in the blastocyst you can clearly see these purple colored cells are trophoblast of the blastula, or you can see blastocyst, and these yellow colored group of cell is inner cell mass. So this was the initial part of embryonic development. Now the next part of this chapter is pregnancy and embryonic development. Initially we will discuss about the pregnancy. After the implantation, finger-like projections appears on the trophoblast called chorionic villi. So trophoblast of blastocyst will show the finger-like projections. It is called chorionic villi. Chorionic villi surrounded by uterine tissue and maternal blood. After some time, uterine tissue will cover the whole blastula. Temporary association between the fetal tissue, this is the chorionic villi, it is the part of blastocyst, and the maternal tissue, this is the uterine endometrium, is called placenta. It is like a plate. Placenta is just look like a plate, and it is made of both the fetal and maternal tissues. Again, one important thing, many times question is asked, placenta is made of fetal tissues, maternal tissues, both. Then you need to answer both. Have a look on the figure 3.12. You can see these are the placental villi. It is the structure of uterus, and this thread-like, long thread-like structure that attaches to navel of the embryo is called umbilical cord. This is the cavity of uterus. This is yolk sac. Basically, in the higher education or higher classes, you will see the embryonic membranes of human. Then there are different type of embryonic membranes. You will see all these things there. And again, you can see this is the cervix of the female and a plug of mucus. A mucus plug is present on the top of this part. Now, placenta is the specified plate-like structure made of fetal and maternal tissues. Now the functions of placenta. The embryo connected to the placenta by umbilical cord which transports substances to and from the embryo. So, dear students, it will help in the transportation. Useful and important substances will be supplied to the embryo, and embryo will supply waste materials like urea, carbon dioxide to the mother. So you can see it removes carbon dioxide and waste material and urea from the embryo. It acts as endocrine gland also. As I have already told you, placenta, this is the again temporary endocrine gland in the female body, and it produces several type of hormones like HCG. The full name is human chorionic gonadotropins. The next hormone is HPL, human placental lactogen. It will help in the lactogenesis in the female body. Few quantity of estrogen and progesterone hormone also. So you can see placenta releases different types of hormones. One another and important hormone of the placenta is relaxin. Relaxin hormone produced from the ovary in the later stages of pregnancy. But just remember, it is produced in the later stage only, not in ordinary condition. This is the another figure showing the relationship between maternal tissue and embryonic tissues. You can see in the red line, this is the mother's blood. This is plate-like structure, that is placenta, and blue color structure is vein, and the red colored structure is showing the artery. You can see mother to embryo and embryo to mother. Mother is providing nutrients, antibodies and oxygen to the developing embryo, while embryo is providing urea to the mother, water to the mother and carbon dioxide to the mother. So it shows the exchange of materials. Useful materials are given to the embryo by mother, and embryo in return embryo gives wasteful material to the mother. So you can see the significance of mother in our life. Before birth, after birth. So next is embryonic development. After implantation, the inner cell mass of blastocyst differentiated into an outer layer called ectoderm. So what will you see in the process of gastrulation? First of all, outer layer will form the ectoderm and the inner layer will form the endoderm. You can see ectoderm and endoderm. These are the germinal layers of the animal. In the class 11th, I have discussed the classification based on number of germinal layers, diploblastic and triploblastic. Diploblastic animals were those animals that contains only ectoderm and endoderm only, while there is the one more another germinal layer, that is mesoderm, differentiated in between ectoderm and endoderm. It is just found in between these two. The inner cell mass thus called stem cells. You can see in real some specified cells found in the inner cell mass, that is stem cells, having potency to produce all type of cells. So tissues and organs by differentiation. So you can see stem cells are important for life. Many parents are preserving the stem cells during the pregnancy, and you have seen the advertisement shown by Aishwarya Roy. Life cell is the name. So every parent must be careful regarding this point. Organogenesis. Formation of different organs in the embryo is called organogenesis. Organo means organs, genesis means to develop. Human pregnancy lasts for 9 months plus minus 10 days. So you can see the pregnancy period in the human is 9 months. It may be plus 10 or minus 10 or in between this. After 1 month of pregnancy, or you can say 4 weeks, heart is formed in the embryo. So you can see 28 days embryo show the heartbeat. By the end of 2nd month, or you can say the fetus develops limbs and digits. Limbs and digits can be seen in the embryo. By the end of 12 weeks, it means after 3 months, first trimester, it is known as first trimester. Most of the organ system is formed, limbs and external genitalia are well developed now. First movement of fetus and appearance of hairs observed in the 5th month. This is most important. 5th month is the month in which movement of the fetus can be observed, and it can be fed by the mother also. By the end of the 24th week, it means after the end of 2nd trimester, 3 plus 3, 6 months, the baby is covered with a fine hair. Eyelids separate. Initially eyelids are not separated, but now it will be separated and eyelashes are formed. And by the end of the 9 months, the fetus is fully developed now and is ready for delivery. So after 9 months, delivery can be seen. The next part is parturition and lactation. After the completion of period of pregnancy, the next step is parturition. The period of pregnancy is called gestation period, and 9 months is the time period in the human being. Ejection or expulsion or delivery of the fetus is called parturition. There are different names given here. Ejection is the one name, expulsion is the another name, delivery of the fetus is called parturition. Parturition is due to vigorous contraction of uterine myometrium. As I have taught you in this chapter, uterus is made of 3 layers. Its middle layer is myometrium and it is made of muscles. It shows the vigorous contraction. The signal of parturition is originated from the fully developed fetus. It means as the fetus is completely developed, then signals are created. The placenta, which induces mild contraction. Initially, placenta will release the hormone and mild contraction of uterus can be seen. It is called fetal ejection reflex. Most important, many times question was asked on this point. What is fetal ejection reflex? After the complete development of embryo, placenta induces some hormones. It will induce the contraction in uterus. Fetal ejection reflexes triggers the release of oxytocin from pituitary gland. So this reflex, fetal ejection reflex FER, will initiate the pituitary to release the oxytocin hormone. Oxytocin induces stronger contraction of uterine endometrium. It is also called labor pain. So due to this contraction, female will feel a strong pain its body and it is called labor pain. In our language you can see, just we talk about this, prasav pida. Prasav pida, that is the labor pain. Stimulatory reflexes continues, stronger contraction leads to expulsion. These contraction will become stronger and stronger and stronger, and it will lead to expulsion. After delivery, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. You can say after the delivery, after some time, placenta comes out from the body, that is the expelled out of the uterus. In our villages, you have listened about this placenta, that jad ka padna. The next point is lactation. Lactation. After the parturition, after the delivery, the mammary glands of the female more differentiated during pregnancy. So you can see there are many changes can be seen in the breast of the pregnant female. Mammary glands start producing milk towards the end of the pregnancy. It is called lactogenesis. Formation of milk in the breast is called lactogenesis, and the process of milk release in the mammary gland is called lactation. So there are two terms. The first is lactogenesis and lactation. Milk produced during the initial days of the lactation is called colostrum. This is the yellow colored thickened milk, and it is secreted up to 5 to 6 or 7 days only. Colostrum contains several antibodies like IgA, which provide immunity to the newborn baby. So you can see the initial colostrum is important for the life of newborn baby, because it protects the human baby from the different type of diseases. It provides immunity to the newborn baby. So doctors suggest mothers to feed this milk necessarily. An applied question is asked on this point. Being a biology student, what will you suggest the female for his newborn baby? Then you need to suggest her to use to feed the colostrum to the newborn baby, because it contains IgA, immunoglobulin A. This is the antibody. Doctors recommend breastfeeding during initial period of the infant growth for bringing up healthy baby, because it is a balanced diet for the newborn baby. What do you think? The doctors inject to induce delivery? Yes, it can be induced by injecting different type of hormonal injections. Again, I would like to remind you, in our villages and in some societies, colostrum was not used for the babies. It is known as bhutni ka doodh. The next topic is sex determination. Sex of the baby has been decided during fertilization and in the zygote. So this is zygote is the initial form where you can determine the sex, and fertilization is the event that helps in the determination. Sex is determined by the sex chromosomes present in the gametes. Human female contains two X chromosomes, while the male contains X and Y chromosomes. All the female gametes produce with only X chromosome. So you can say all the female gametes produced by the female are always with X chromosome, while on the other hand in male, sperms produced by male, out of that 50% with X chromosome and 50% with Y chromosome. After fertilization, zygote either carries XX or XY chromosome. Zygote with XX chromosome develop into female, while with XY chromosome develops into male. Its outline diagram will be discussed now. Sex determination. I have already explained the theory of the sex determination. You can see The male is biologically responsible for the sex of the child. You can see, as we have already studied in the previous classes, human, it is divided in two parts. One is male and another one is female. Male contains 44 autosomes, while X and Y chromosome as a allosome, or you can say sex chromosomes. On the other, in the female, you can see 44 common autosomes, while it shows a pair of X chromosomes. You can see this is the homozygous condition and this is the hemizygous condition. So, as male will show the gametogenesis or spermatogenesis, then it will form two types of sperms. The 50% sperms will carry 22 plus X chromosomes, while the rest of the another 50% sperms will show 22 plus Y chromosomes. In the female, it will show two types of ovum, 50% ovum with 22 plus X chromosome and another 50% chromosome that contains 22 plus X chromosome. So when you will see this figure, then you can say all the 100% ovum contains 22 plus X chromosome. So female will not decide the sex in the human body. Suppose if we draw the outline figure, this is the male that contains 44 plus XY chromosome. This is the female that contains 44 plus XX chromosome. After meiosis, it will form 50% sperms with 22 plus X chromosomes and another 50% with 22 plus Y chromosome. While these are the parents, 22 plus X, 22 plus X. This is gametogenesis. This is known as spermatogenesis in the male and oogenesis in the female. Now, you can see the cross. In the first cross, 44, 22 plus 22, 44 and X and X. This is the baby girl. Again you can see 44 plus XX, baby girl. In the second type of cross, 44 plus XY, baby boy, and again 44 plus XY, baby boy. So dear students, you can clearly see the picture. Male is producing two type of gametes, while female is producing two type of gametes. Single type of gametes. And after the result, you will see 50% chances are to born the female, while 50% chances are of male. So this is the end of the chapter number 3. We have discussed all the facts of reproduction in human beings. Now, one point to remember, the transverse section of testes and transverse section of ovary. These two topics are the part of practical examination. So try to learn all these facts, and thank you all. You are requested to please like, share and subscribe this video. Have a nice day.